Hello everyone, welcome back to another entry. Before I get into it, just wanted to say I have a new mic. It's not a real one, by the way, but it's a strawberry mic. I got a bit bored sometime last week and didn't have enough yarn for a bigger project, so went with something small and compactable. I also just wanted to say, if you hear any other background noise, like what's going on outside, it's fireworks. Some people are just a little bit too impatient to wait until tomorrow. But anyways, for tonight's topic, this one isn't something that I wrote down in my notes this time. This is kind of just something that I wanted to talk about off the top of my head. But I really wanted to talk about the lack of confrontation when it comes to children bullying people. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've been thinking about that one video of that mom confronting her daughter about her picking on somebody at school. Like, I'm sure somebody who's gonna watch this knows what I'm talking about. But she starts off the video where she's like, "How was your day at school?" And the daughter's like, "It was good." And mom's like, "What'd you guys do at school?" And she's like, and the daughter responds like, "Nothing." And then the mom just instantly is like, "So who were you bullying at school today?" And the daughter's like, "Hmm?" And the mom's like, "Nothing. Who were you bullying at school?" And watching that video made me realize, like, a lot of parents are not confronting their children about this kind of stuff, specifically when it comes to them harassing someone that they go to school with. And I honestly think that parents need to start doing that more, because we can't be oblivious and say that bullying doesn't affect people or cause certain things to happen, because it definitely does. Like, we're not new to the fact that bullying causes many tragedies, whether it be somebody taking their own life or taking another person's life. And I genuinely believe that if we started confronting children about them bullying their peers at school, stuff like that could happen less. Nobody would have to lose their life, whether it be the victim in question or other people that had nothing to do with it. And yeah, that's really what I wanted to say. And I also wanted to bring up how many people try and say that bullying is not effective. It definitely is. And this is coming from somebody who had their personal experiences with being bullied in middle school, because I can confidently say that the bullying that I went through definitely changed me and changed who I am as a person, to be more specific. Like, lots of the bullying had caused me to develop anxiety at a very young age, and that's not fun, you know. Like, being diagnosed with anxiety at 10 years old was definitely not something that I just had to deal with. It was really something that I had to struggle with, because I felt like nobody really understood what I was going through and just thought that if I sheltered it, then maybe it would be less of an issue. But no, it wasn't like that. And bullying definitely also caused other issues that happened with me. I became very insecure. My mental health really started deteriorating, and it even had gotten to a point where I was contemplating whether if I wanted to still live. And that's why I can't stand it when people say that bullying has no effects and that bullying builds character. It really doesn't. It really doesn't, and I don't get it. Maybe it's just another way of them saying stuff as a way to cope or whatever, but even I wouldn't say that kind of stuff, because it just sounds so ignorant. It sounds like you're not being considerate of other people who have dealt with harsher bullying and have came out as completely different people compared to who they used to be in the past. And it's just, I don't mean to sound rude, but it's so stupid. It's so dumb, because it's like, why would you even say that? Like, ugh, it's so icky. It's so icky. One thing about me is ignorance. Ignorance, it irritates me to an extent. But but yeah, anyways, to be more on topic, I genuinely believe that if parents started confronting their kids about them making fun of people, it would definitely decrease other types of problems that go on in the world, specifically that involve that person. And while we're still like, revolving the topic around bullying, I also wanted to take a moment to address people who say, like, let's bring back bullying. Let's not do that. Because a lot of people who say this usually say it to folks that are just enjoying their livelihood. And they say it when it comes, and they usually say this about like people that are doing something cringy. But it's like, what's cringe to you is fun to them. And I'm sure some of you know the saying, to be cringe is to be free and whatnot. but but yeah, I digress. Anyways, I'm kind of getting off track because I didn't think this through. But like I said, I didn't plan this out. This is really just coming off the top of my head. But yeah, to really make it a long story short, parents need to start confronting their kids about what they say and what they do to people at school, because bullying affects many people in different ways. It could destroy a person's mental health, destroy their self-esteem, even so much as have them contemplating whether if their life is worthy, whether if they're worthy of being on this planet with the rest of us. Because why would you voluntarily go out of your way to make a person feel like they're doing something wrong by just existing? Like, at the end of the day, as long as they're not hurting people or themselves, why do you feel like it's necessary to make them think that they're doing something wrong? Like, they're not doing anything wrong. They're just living their life, and they're living it differently. And that's kind of how we're not kind of, that's literally how we're made to function. Like, we're all different in our own ways, and I just don't think it's right that people feel like they need to make fun of others, put other people down, and just try and convince people that they're doing something wrong because they're not living life the same way that other person is living life. Like, yeah, we all live life differently, and what about it? As long as we're not hurting each other, why is that a problem for you? You know what I mean? And lots of people that are bullies tend to be hypocritical because they will make fun of a person for just simply being themselves, but then when that person starts to dim their lights for the sake of approval or just to no longer be harassed by people and start to be like everyone else, it's always the same people that made fun of them that are like, why would you do that to yourself? You gotta start learning how to be yourself. How are you gonna live life the way you want if you don't be yourself? Why are you trying to be like other people? You made them feel like being themselves was wrong. So why judge them for wanting to fit in as long as they're not being made fun of? You know what I mean? Like first you make their life even worse. Like already make their life bad for just simply existing. Then you try and make it seem like they're doing something wrong by giving in to that. Lots of people are not strong like that. And I don't mean to say like they're just weak and let people walk all over them, because everyone deals with stuff in a different way. But many folks do not have tough skin like that. I don't have tough skin like that. Even I can admit that I'm still bothered by a lot of the stuff that even my bullies have said to me in the past. And you're probably going to think, and obviously like most of this bullying has started in middle school, and you're probably thinking like, you're 20 years old and you're still bothered by some stuff that happened in middle school? Yes, because believe it or not, bullying has long-term effects on people. And of course, it may not have long-term effects on everybody that's gone through it, but it doesn't cost an arm and a leg for you to be considerate that bullying does affect people in numerous different ways. And just because you didn't let it affect you in a certain way doesn't mean it's going to affect people the same way it affected you. We all deal with things in a different way, and we're all affected by certain things in a different way. And the way and how we go about it can also can also, like do stuff to future events, like whether it be different connections or just simply something with yourself in general. I feel like I'm not making any sense. I'm sorry about that. One thing about me is, well, not even one thing, another thing about me is that usually when I go on and on about stuff, I feel like I'm getting off track and I'm just saying all kinds of nonsense. But all I really just want to say is start confronting your children about what they do and what they say to people. Because one thing I want to say is if I were a mom and I found out that my kid was bullying somebody, I would be devastated because it's like I didn't teach you to do that kind of stuff. And with me being a victim of bullying myself, I definitely wouldn't want my child to be talking about somebody or just simply making a person's life already as hard as it is just solely because they felt like it, and just simply, like, I don't want my kid giving somebody a hard time for just existing. Like, if they're not doing anything to you, then why are you making them feel like they're doing something wrong by just existing? They're enjoying their hobbies, doing what makes them feel happy, being around people that make them happy. Why is that a problem for you? Right. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Bullying never makes sense, and I genuinely don't believe that there's a genuine, like logical reasoning for why people bully. Because you're just being mean for no reason. It's weird. You're weird. Anyways, but yeah, that's gonna wrap up this entry. I wish I had more to elaborate on, but I don't, unfortunately. So, this is where the video ends. Thank you all for watching if you continue to stay, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.